All righty, got a couple more emails real quickly before we do something. I don't know. I have papers all over the place. It's a miracle we're doing this program. This is from Justin in Ohio. Dear Jim and Brian, wanted to give some insight on some things from my live experience at SummerSlam. So he was there in the stadium at the time. First, LA Knight is ridiculously over right now with WWE fans. He easily had the largest pop of the night on his win. And I heard tons of fans yelling, "Yeah!" all weekend around downtown Detroit. Glad to see WWE finally giving him a push. So the fucking Battle Royal was the pop of the night with every top guy in their big blow-off or semi-blow-off confrontations, and the people have decided. The people have spoken, Brian. The people out there.
Yeah, and WWE is listening for once. Because there's been other times in the past where the people spoke and WWE said, "Nah, that's not really what we think you're saying. We think you want to say something else."
The people spoke and Vince wasn't wearing his hearing aids. Justin said, another thing of note.
I had a paralegal's legs around my ears.
Oh, come on now.
Arr!
Good heavens. That's a horrible Vince McMahon at his current age and state of him with bunny ears.
Uncensored, uncooked. It's raw.
It's, most definitely. As a matter of fact, it probably looks a little stale by this point. Another thing of note was during the Ronda versus Shayna MMA rules match, the experience in the building was even worse than it appeared on Peacock.
That was a brutal match. It was miserable watching it at home.
During large portions of the match, if the crowd wasn't absolutely silent, chants of "this is boring" were heard. WWE obviously silenced these on the air because they were loud. And I wanted to point out that there wasn't a "we want tables" chant during the main event in the building. Apparently, WWE is pumping that chant in when they have a planned table spot. As a matter of fact, the live crowd was super quiet during the main event. The match really sucked the energy out of the building because it had been going on. The show had been almost 5 hours in, counting their initial, pre-business. And the thing was moving at a glacial pace. But can you imagine? They're doing on purpose what we talk about being the stupidest fucking thing going on when the guys are having a match and fans are chanting, "we want tables." They don't want the babyface to win. They don't want the heel to even win. They're not enjoying what they're seeing. They're too busy wanting fucking furniture spots because of the fact that all they ever get is furniture spots. Jesus Christ. Can you believe they piped that in?
There have been a few times in the last year or so where I thought they were definitely piping stuff in. I think the pandemic, unfortunately, trained them to do that better than ever before, or at least more than ever before. They've been piping stuff in going back to the 80s, especially for the NBC events, and then later all the syndicated shows. But chants, there have been a few chants where I thought they were piping it in recently, and to hear this from someone there, that confirms it.
I remember when WCW under Turner Broadcasting tried to start doing Crockett, at least all the TV tapings that Crockett did were live to tape or mostly live to tape. The TBS Techwood Drive studio tapings, the syndicated worldwide and NWA Pro Wrestling TV tapings that we did around the Carolinas with the Nemo truck or at big shows or whatever. But finally, when TBS took over, they decided, well, we're a real television company, Pinocchio, and we're going to do green screens. We're going to do voiceover commentary from the studio at a later date, and we're going to start sweetening the audio so it's and I don't know, for 2 years, if half of their programs, the audio had some issue or other in every single one of them. They couldn't make it sound legitimate when the people were cheering. You could tell that it was going up and coming down artificially.
Yeah.
And the announcing depending on the show, not the quality of the announcers, but the quality of the way you could hear them was all over the page. When they would try to do multiple versions of a syndicated show with different announcers and put them in front of a green screen, it lost all the flow. But also, I swear to God, a couple of times I heard the other set of announcers faintly underneath the new set of announcers. I don't know what they were fucking doing, but it was brutal because they were trying to do shit Vince was doing, but he'd had a major league studio put together for years at that point.
And remember, the biggest example of what Vince did was Royal Rumble 92 when Flair won. Sid Vicious eliminates Hogan, the fans cheer. When they replay it on TV, the fans are booing what Sid does, and they're cheering, Hogan, Hogan. It was just a complete manipulation of the situation.
A manipulation of the situation.